Yo.
Okay, so here I am with another project. So this one I created back in 2021 and it's called Year in Review 2021. Well, technically it's called News Year in Review 2021. And basically my job was to create a virtual environment for some news anchors to sit in while they review the news for that particular year. It was supposed to take place live because at the office we have a virtual room, at least I call it a virtual room, where you would put the anchors on green and we could put them in that virtual space and we could move the camera up and down, left and right and all that jazz. All right, so and I typically create my sets in Blender. That's just my program of choice. So yeah, I'm going to basically just show you the parts of the project that I worked on, or the part of the set, because technically that's all I really worked on. Now there was an intro for the show, right? And we actually, because of time constraints, the intro we used a template from Envato, and just changed up certain things, and it actually took me a while to search back for the template, but thankfully I found it. So this is envato.com, and we had an account. I don't think we have an account any longer, but we saw this one and we got it and just changed out the title, added our footage and stuff like that, right? So I needed to create an environment that reflected some elements of this. Okay, so let me go into Blender now and show you what I did. So I have all the layers off, so I'll just turn them on one by one to show you what I worked on step by step. So the first thing I did was the floor, right? Let me go here to the viewport shading. So first thing I did was the floor, and it's just a reflective material. As you can see, let me turn off this because I want to turn them on one by one. And I have an HDRI image there. If I zoom out, you can see it, right? So this is what's being reflected on the surface here. And I've created a grid using some basic, I think I just extruded a plane and altered the shape, duplicated them, and grouped them up and just duplicated them all over the place here, right? So that's what we're seeing here. If I should go into vertex select mode, let me view this from the top, you can see that is the case. Let me actually come down here so you can see the points that make up the model here. All right, so that's all that is. And of course I added the texture. This is just a basic color. And if we look back again at the intro, those elements are reflected within the scene here, right? These red lines and that overall look. Let me go back here. So we have blues, some reds that mixed together created some purples here, right? And these are the lines on the floor. So I wanted to kind of mimic that, right? While it's not exact, at least it worked for what I wanted. All right, so that's the first thing I did. Then I actually got this debris online from one of those free 3D websites. I don't know why I didn't just model these, because they're basically cubes. But I got this, it was already textured, and the wall here, the broken wall, I modeled these. It's basically just cubes, and then I just reshaped them and added the texture, the brick texture here. I also added some tires, and out here I added a police car, right? Because it was supposed to be like what do you call it? The idea is that they're talking about crime, right? So I wanted like a dilapidated space for them to sit in. I don't know where that idea came from, but that's what I was thinking at the time, and that's what I did. This is basically a low poly car. The wheel is the only thing that is high poly here, and I just added some basic textures here to make it reflect one of the police cars that we had here. The KM here is basically my initials. I just added some random numbers here. So yeah, then I added the background, and the background is a screenshot from the intro itself. If we go back here, right, it's just a screenshot from, well, no, actually I recreated this background here, because as you can see, at no point do we get the background by itself. So if I should play this, there's always these cubes in front. All right, so we never see the background by itself. So I had to recreate that. Okay. So that's what I did there. Right, and did I? Let me actually look at that. Or maybe I didn't. It's been a while. Okay, it's been a while, so I don't remember if, I think this is a screenshot. Yeah, this is indeed a screenshot, I think. I don't remember if I'll have to look back at that, but I remember that I created one. I did recreate one, a background. I don't know if this is it or this is a screenshot from the intro itself. Okay, so it took me a while, but I had to search to see if I indeed recreated the background, and I did. So here's the file. I recreated the cubes and the background and all of that, right? But the reason why I had to recreate this was because they had various segments within the show, and they needed like some intros for those, so I had to recreate that. As you can see, the lines here that are in the intro from Envato itself, so I had to recreate a portion of that. So yeah, then I added this black area here to, I don't remember why I added this, but it's there. I don't think it serves any importance, right? But yeah. And then I don't have the video here, but you'll see it in the final thing, of the anchors in this space here. And then there's the logo, which I did in 3D, which is News 2021 Review. All right. And there also was some fire elements. Now, I rarely do simulations, and that's because simulations usually take time and they use up a lot of resources on your computer. So I tend to, if I create them, I would render them as videos with the alpha background and then import them into Blender, or I would get something online, right? So the file is missing here, so that's why you aren't seeing it. So let me just turn that off, right? And let me just go to my camera view, and let's go back here and show you what I have. So when we play it, this is what happens. The objects rise, and then the textures are applied to the objects, and it zooms in, and then the anchors, the news anchors, would be within this space here, and then they would start discussing whatever they are discussing. And I had the camera rotate slightly because I don't really like static cameras, right? So as you can see, the camera is rotating slightly, and it basically does, that's all it does until they wrap up their segment, and then that was the end of that. All right, so this project was well, as these projects usually are, I didn't have a lot of time, so I did this pretty quickly. If I could go back, there's a lot of things that I would change, but time didn't permit, and this is how it ended up. I don't think this was used in the final thing. Yeah, I don't think they ended up using this. And one of the things that you'll have to come to terms with is that sometimes you'll work on projects for a long while and it won't be used, right? That's just how the industry is, right? But nevertheless, I have it with me so I can share it with you guys. And yeah, I'm just going to play the final video with sound effects and all that jazz for you guys to see. I'll probably blur out the the anchor's face, or I'll just remove them altogether, and I'll mute the audio. I'm going to play the video now, and I will see you in the next one.
Yo,
Yo, Kemari.